What's going on, everybody? You know who it is. It's your boy Aaron, aka Turtle the Ascended, and we're back again, me and the technicians, with the technical topic, episode number 3.
Three, huh?
It's Trace, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Nice, man.
So, again, thank you guys for watching that have watched. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, drop a comment or two on what you may or may not want to hear us do a little topic on, you know what I'm saying? But real quick again, we're going to run around the room and introduce my fellow technicians.
What's really good? It's your boy Buster Brown, aka Bustin' in Your Home, aka when Buster Brown come down, chairs down. That's what I'm talking about. And we back over here, episode 3Z on the Mizite. Let's go.
Hey yo, hey roll! It's your boy Raha the King, the chest naked bandit, aka I run in your house too, aka I wear nothing but shorts. Let's go.
I hate both of you. What the fuck?
I am forever bland by their standards. This is your boy Shadowfalls. Check me out on Twitter, Shadowfalls_FGC. On Twitch, Shadowfalls_TW.
Now you got a geek. That's Young Shadow the Hedgehog, aka Astro Out the Park Falls Ninja. Yeah,
AKA Astrophysics, AKA makes Tony Stark look dumb, AKA like,
Oh, wait, hold on.
Whoa. If he could do that, I need me a time machine, bro. Alright, but today on this topic we have a special guest, maybe not one some are too familiar with, but if you know me personally, then you are most likely familiar with this guy. We got the homie, the one, the only, Bars, my homeboy Red Comet. How you doing, brother?
What's good, man? What's good?
AKA Young Tan Man, AKA Tal O'Neal, AKA
the Crimson
That's
Comet.
my personal stats.
AKA Seal the Steel, AKA Seal the Deal,
AKA
AKA the only reason I got to play Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah,
Real homie.
I still ain't played that bitch yet.
Alright,
Tragic.
we finna rock with this. So,
Yeah.
normally I start with the whole favorite character thing, but I'm gonna start on a slightly more grand scale
He switched
and
it up
say,
on
run down the line, DC or Marvel?
Now, I present to you another question. In general, or
Yes.
what? Oh, just in general. I'm gonna go Marvel.
Why?
Personally, I feel like for me, it's been their cinematic stuff has been very, very near and dear to me. Their games have been more fun for me. It's been a lot of my life, and personally, I'm a huge Stan Lee fan. Stan Lee is one of my lifetime heroes. R.I.P. Stan Lee. Hope you living good up there, brother. But it's something that I feel like that anybody could truly just as easily get into. I feel like it's easier to get into more Marvel comics than it is DC, because DC seems very in depth with their storytelling and ways that they introduce a ton of characters and the world that they build up. But I could be wrong. But for me personally, I've had a lot more history and time with Marvel other than DC. So, Marvel for me.
All right. What about you, Young Raha?
Let's see. Throughout the time, man.
Man, if you don't just say
If I
Marvel
was
and move along.
You know what? It
Man,
might
you
just
better
be
leave that nigga
Marvel.
alone.
I already know
It
he's
might
gonna
just
say
be
Marvel.
for me. Man, it's just hard. Just over time, when I'm thinking about it, man, I used to watch a lot of DC when I was younger too. But I
Same.
guess I guess for the long haul, it'll be Marvel. Marvel got most of my favorite characters in there. I just feel like DC, for me, since I didn't read comic books growing up, they was kind of bland TV show wise. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with Marvel.
Shadow.
Only gonna be Marvel for me. Like, there's no question. I'll get to a little bit later what I really enjoy about DC, but if we talking about specifically in general, then yeah, it's gonna be DC Marvel for me. You can look at my profile picture on Discord. So anything about me in real life, you'll know that I have the collection of Deadpool stuff. I've been collecting Deadpool stuff for dear Lord. It's been a long time. Pretty much ever since I found that character. I mean, it had me, and then of course I just like more of Marvel's characters in general. Yep,
Now,
he's in Marvel.
Can we get into? Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. We can go and have everybody answer, and then get something to say.
Rick comment.
Let me put it to you like this. Alright. Ain't none of us picked a DC picture.
Right.
There ain't one. I thought Tanks was, I thought Buster Brown was for a second. And it ain't. That ain't Batman.
Definitely not.
Nobody picked one. Because I just say, that's how I put it. You got Marvel, and then people who like DC usually mention something in the Batman kind of family of characters. So I'd say you got Marvel, then you got Batman kind of on par with that, personally for me. And then you got the rest of DC kind of way down the ladder. I know one person in my life that cared about Green Lantern. That's all I can say.
I know about one
I know who you talk about too.
I know not one person cared about that movie.
Facts. So I'm gonna be the outlier that just says I like DC as a whole more than Marvel, just because I like watching the cartoon movies and stuff, and I think the comics to me are more interesting. There's a lot of stuff in Marvel I F with, of course, but I cannot honestly say I would be messing with Marvel like that if the MCU wasn't flexing like it was. Like, if the MCU wasn't a thing, like those live movies, if they weren't fire, I would most definitely not be effing with Marvel like that. Or X-Men. X-Men was something I effed with. Fantastic Four, because I love Doctor Doom. And a few other characters.
Their second reboot for Fantastic Four, but we'll get into that later.
My goodness.
Hold on.
But yeah, for the most part, my allegiance lies with DC. Kind of like what Kama was talking about too. I'm more specifically focused with the Batverse because I love, like, if I had to pick a collective, the Robins are my favorite. Like just the Bat family in general is just my favorite thing about DC, because you can go so in depth with that. So
you really can.
Like all the Robins are super unique. They got their own niches and types of stuff, so it's super cool.
Now that we've done that, I just wanted to say. Now, do you think? Because if you ask a majority of the population who's into comics or into superheroes in general, right? People, would you think that people would say Marvel over DC at the moment?
Definitely.
I think we should watch movies
the
and read
MCU.
comics. Yeah.
It's presence that happens.
The MCU carries freaking Marvel right now.
It does. There's no lie about that. Now, would you say that Marvel is easier to get into because the main characters of Marvel are like just like Spider-Man, something that's just more kid friendly?
I know, like the modern comics, they play more. I mean, they kind of mold themselves around like what's happening in their movies. So like, if a bit kind of like what they're doing now, because Disney doesn't have the X-Men or didn't have X-Men and Fantastic Four, they like pretty much butchered those comics, and they kind of like thinned them out to where there weren't many coming out to try to pull them out of the public eye. So really, you were reading about more like Iron Man, who wasn't really relevant before MCU, and like Captain America, who became more relevant with MCU and stuff like that.
Man.
Yeah.
I hated
Before
Captain America.
Oh yeah.
I still hate Captain America. Fuck that dude.
Big facts.
Hold up.
Fuck that dude.
Nah, fuck Captain America.
My dad really
Oh,
liked
man.
Captain America. He really
He's
liked
cool.
Captain America and Thor, so I grew up with those two. But MCU just got to prove to me Captain America is just a bland dude. He's
Yeah.
blonde, got blue eyes, and hits things really hard. For some reason, cannot die.
I am Steve Rogers.
Big
So,
facts.
Now,
dude has
would
some
you-
of the biggest plot armor I've ever seen in my life. I watch anime.
Now, would you? would
Disrespectful.
you say?
I watch anime.
Disrespectful.
Big facts.
Would you say that it's more easier to get into Marvel? And my reason is easier to get into Marvel because they have a lot more characters that are kids or teenagers
Yeah.
who become on like these incredible hero levels. Unlike DC, which the majority of DC that people focus on are mainly like the Justice League characters: Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash.
Aliens.
Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Batman especially. But I think one of the reasons it's easier for people to get into Marvel than it is DC is because they have a younger audience. Because a lot of them are teenagers, 15, 16, shoot, some of them even younger, some of them even older. Some of them are like diehard comic book fans of Marvel. They collect comic books even now, and they're like in their mid-30s. But like, would you say it's easier to get into Marvel because they have a lot more characters who are younger, who grow into a hero role than DC does?
Yeah, Marvel's constantly kind of like rebooting that character too. So like, there's 2 Spider-Mans now. Spider-Man, I don't know how to say it. And there's 2 Miss Marvels. Or Miss Marvel became
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, and there's the new Miss Marvel. So they're constantly like reinventing that role, kind of like a new person
Which-
in that role.
Which I think is why Batman is such a good character, is because he's one of the ones, unlike the main people of the Justice League, who is kind of like mentally unstable. Like
Yeah.
Like
his
Batman's,
parents, his story is so good,
Like-
unlike the rest of them.
like Batman's defining trait is, first of all, he's human.
Right.
He's the one human among, no matter, I mean, if you count New 52 Cyborg, but he's technically not human anymore. He's like machine. But still, like, out of all these people who are powered up with something special or outside, like on a supernatural level, right? He's the only human, and he still beats ass. He's still gonna be you're probably gonna be the most afraid of dealing with him, if not him, then Superman. Because Superman is Superman. And then you've got the fact that he's literally wearing the symbol of his trauma, like constantly, like, because those bats, when his parents were killed, he's constantly wearing the symbol of his trauma.
Right.
And I like how, like, in the cartoons, in the cartoon movies, he constantly, you'll hear him talk about it, he'll constantly talk about how, if you're comparing him to Superman, Clark's deep down is a good person. I deep down am not.
Yeah.
Like, you look at was Justice League Dark, and the little alien looking ghost thing goes up to him like, you have all this dark pain and past and all this type of stuff built up into you, and what's your secret? Dude goes, I have a butler. like, to know that this dude is this messed up
And still chooses not to kill.
facts, like how do you do that? Like,
That's such a good character trope. Like, it is.
like, even when I watched, like, what was it? I watched Whisper, I think is what it is.
Hush.
And yeah, Hush, there we go. Whisper, what the hell? But yeah, he was, spoiler alert, just in case, he was going with a Catwoman, and he still tried to save the dude who almost killed him.
Right.
And Catwoman was like appalled that this guy was still going out of his way to try to save this guy who just tried to kill him and that he knew was bad. And it was like he was compelled to try and save him no matter what. Like he hadn't changed.
Yeah.
And it just like to continuously show that this dude, even though he's human, even though he does a lot of times have plot armor, like strongest plot armor beyond almost any enemy character I've ever seen,
Yes.
like he still has weakness, he still has faults, he can still lose, he still gets his ass beat, you know, like
Right.
even if it's not physical, it's mental. If it's not mental, it's emotional. Right? He can still be broken, and that's what makes him like the pretty much soul-defining thing, the sole force behind really DC at the moment.
Right. Because I'm like everybody else, he's not a god, right?
Yeah.
He's
not a god,
he's-
and he also has like he's one of the few DC characters, especially among the Justice League, that actually has like a really, really good supporting cast. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
so many
yeah.
characters
Oh, my
in
God.
just Batman alone that you can play off of. Like Batman almost doesn't need to be the main character. Because
Yeah.
you could sold
You
with
could-
other well-developed characters first.
people are gonna honestly, people are gonna hate me for this, but honestly, you can cut off, take a big freaking fictional knife, right, and you can cut off Superman, Green Lantern, basically all the other DC characters for me, and only have Batman's characters and worlds,
Oh yeah.
and call it DC, and I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, saying DC
I'm not mad at that. Yeah.
In terms of comics, though.
Batman seems
What
like a
we
separate.
comics.
Batman's
But
comic
that-
seems to be the
Yeah.
most interesting to me.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
that be more
Still.
towards? Do you feel like they play on Batman's world more just because he's more of human, he's more down to earth than all
That's
the
exactly why
other?
they play him.
They can't make
They
him
can't
do,
do
like,
it with
this
anyone
super,
Yeah.
super cool stuff.
Yeah,
So they
I
have
mean-
to play his human side.
Yeah. Most of the other characters,
Mention.
most of the other characters in DC are like aliens, or they're
Yeah.
from like Superman's an alien.
Dumb strong.
Martian
you know?
Manhunter, alien.
Right.
Wonder Woman, not an alien, but a god.
Demigod.
Yeah.
Right.
Aquaman, whatever he is.
Whatever he is, somewhere down there.
He's a fish man, bruh.
Oh,
Big
Yeah,
fact.
they
Call him a
do that.
fishbowl.
They do that because they know Batman is like is the most relatable DC character of like so people who are like mentally unstable, or people who just constantly are stuck in their own heads, or people who have gone through certain similar things like losing their parents or something like that. It's and they feel connected to Batman because they feel he's not OP. Like
Right.
he can be, but only if you take the time to. That's completely dependent on how they set up the story. You know, so yeah, they got to use that Batman story because what they're gonna do against Superman? You know, like
he's just more. I mean, he's more. It's like you said, he's more relatable. I mean, Superman. You can't really relate to Superman.
no,
Like you
can't.
can get those feelings, but 9 times out of
Right.
10, you gonna look at Superman like, why the fuck didn't you just beat his ass?
Big
right?
Like you about the strongest thing on the planet. You can't whoop his ass. Okay,
Yeah.
You can't
Bitch,
clap
just
your
punch this
hands
dude to the
and
sun.
Batman you can understand. Superman is just gonna piss you off.
yeah. So it's more interesting to watch a hero struggle like Batman does.
Exactly.
So I'd say so.
Indeed.
I
Now,
wanna also do this before we move on. This
Talk to
episode,
him.
this episode is brought to you by water.
Oh yeah. Hold up. I got it.
Water. Drink it. Anyway,
seriously, hey, it's hot, yo.
Oh yeah.
Drink you some dang
Man, I
water,
didn't
bro.
read that stuff.
water.
Big facts.
Get more water.
Water,
More water.
hydrogen and oxygen.
Oh yeah. Two ideas.
All right, now we can focus it a little bit more and talk about these profile pics. So let's run around the room. Let's start with our guest, the Red Comet.
Oh, hold up. You know,
Talk about that
when
Peter
I
jingle.
when I was growing up, I went to see the first Spider-Man movie with my dad and my brothers, and I got to we walked in the movie theater with our popcorn and drinks and shit. I guess he'd spent probably like $50 and everything. And there's a previous like Coke ad before the movie started, like the Green Goblin in that first movie came flying by in the Coke ad and scared the shit out of me. And I couldn't watch the movie. I was crying like that. My dad was like, "Mom, just suck it up, watch this." And I couldn't or whatever. So we ended up going home. My dad was kind of making passive aggressive comments about it the rest of the day, and he still does to this day. But so anyway, I finally watched it 2 years later. I kind of made myself watch it. I had to get over. I was scared of the Green Goblin in that movie, so I kind of had to get over that fear and watch it. And then, so that kind of was my introduction to Spider-Man. Really was conquering my fear to watch the movie, and then. Really, I kind of did a lot of raising myself. I was on my own a lot growing up and stuff like that because my parents would work. And I found a website that hosted Spider-Man comics. I won't say if it was legal or not. But I kind of just read series in their entirety, just straight up Spider-Man from the beginning, you know, back in the 60s and just up to the modern day and shit. And I connected to it. I wasn't a well-built kid, you know, I was scrawny. Shit like that, so it's kind of like a power fantasy, you know, I guess in some ways. But also, then as I became an adult, he's always got issues with girls, you know. That's always been a problem for me. He's always got money problems, also been a problem for me. So stuff like that. I mean, as I related to him in different ways because you know we see Spider-Man starting off in the comics as a high school kid.
Yeah.
I started reading it as a kind of middle school kid, so it's close enough. And then as I got into college, I started reading a lot of stuff, and for a ton of Spider-Man comics, he's a college kid. So, you know, I started kind of getting into that when I was in college, and now that I'm kind of a working adult, I relate to a different kind of Spider-Man. You know, so I just kind of, all these different levels to him, because he's grown up over the years, you know, I've associated with different parts of my life, so it's just kind of a personal attachment to me, I guess.
I feel
That's
you.
cool. That's real cool.
Yeah.
Shadow.
So mine's Deadpool, and so the thing about Deadpool is one, you'll know this common trope about me. If the hero has red and black colors, or the character has red and black colors, I will pull to them immediately. But what kept me with Deadpool, whenever I was in, I can't really tell you where my start with Deadpool was. I actually think it came from he was featured in one of the animated X-Men movies.
Oh yeah.
Specifically with Wolverine. It was a Wolverine movie. He was featured in it, and I was like, okay. And no, I'm not talking about the live action one. No. Oh, not that Deadpool. Not talking about that Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. It was one of the animated ones, and so no, I mean the character, he was just crazy, and so I don't know why that appealed to me. Maybe it was probably some of my childhood self that I kind of saw, because and the dude is, I mean, he can't die, right? So in order for him to have a character, just made him crazy. And I was like, he's always cracking jokes. I saw a little bit of my friend in him as well, not the psycho part, though the always cracking jokes part. And so
I love you, AJ.
Before I knew you, but you know, it's obviously the trade continues with my current cohorts. In this technical topic.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's hot in Topeka.
Yeah, man. That's pretty much why. And so I've kind of kept up with him over the years. Got into some comics, you know, watched him kill the whole Marvel universe in a parody comic.
Nasty.
Dude, crazy dog. Probably why I like him the most. Like everything now, man. And like this game, as crappy as it was, I played it once, never touched it again. Dude was on ice skates the whole game. It was that was such a cash grab. And ironically, I have not watched Deadpool 2 yet. Still need to do that.
How dare you?
But the original Deadpool was the only movie. The movie? Is that right? The only movie I have watched in theaters more than once.
Really?
Because I enjoyed it that much. I don't go to the movies that often. Pretty much Marvel gets me out to the movie theater. That's pretty much it.
You and a lot of people out there nowadays.
Big facts.
And so Deadpool is the only movie I went and watched at the theaters more than once. Because I said, if I'm going to pay for it, I better really enjoy it. I enjoyed it that much that I watched it twice. Also helped that the second time I went, there was a girl I was talking to that wanted to go. But, that's neither here nor there. We don't have to talk about that.
Wow.
Still, we would pay to see it anyway.
These are some nice. This is some nice stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Big facts.
Alright, Tank, go ahead and tell us about T'Challa.
Let me tell you about the Panther. The Panther.
The Black Panther.
Let me tell you about the Black Panther. And my story only starts with a man who gave a young boy a comic book. This man was none other than not my father, T'Challa. No. I'm gonna stop talking like that.
Good.
I'm gonna try to real quick.
Mine is Black Panther, man, and it's, as you already know, I'm already a big Marvel fan, and Stan Lee is one of my heroes. But Black Panther was the first comic book hero I ever read a comic for. My dad came home one time, and he is an avid comic book collector. He's got a ton of Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Black Panther comics. And he came home one time, found and I don't know where he got it from, but he came home with a comic book, and this comic book was a whole Black Panther comic. It was the Black Panther comic, Man Without Fear. And he came home with it. And that was the first comic book I ever read, and I don't know. It's just I never looked at a hero like that, but it just kind of grabbed me because I hated reading. Reading is trash to me. Reading a lot of books. I don't know how people do it. That's a ooh. I applaud you for doing it, but I could not sit there and read a book like that to save my life. But that comic was so fun. It was so good. And I from then on, I went back and I read a lot of the older Black Panther comics, like old, back when it was like just pure spandex. And you couldn't even tell it was freaking vibranium. It was just pure, like, black suit with freaking panther ears. Like that's just how it was. And his character is so cool to me. Like, the fact that he's got this genius level intellect, like, and he's richer than Iron Man, and runs a country, like, it's just so freaking cool to me. And he's like Batman with powers. Like, I don't know. It's just so cool. Like, the fact that he could be like, he has the intellect that can invent stuff just like Tony Stark, but he chooses not to. He chooses to have people do that for him. He may not be like on the ridiculous level of like super ADD. I gotta make suits like Tony Stark does, and like, but he's mastered all forms of combat. He's just a pimp, yo. Like
Okay.
he's got advanced technology that he could be like, hey, you want a freaking thermonuclear freaking Gucci belt? And you're like, oh yeah, you ain't getting one. Come to Wakanda, you might buy one.
Say my Bible. He was giving those out yesterday.
It was thermonuclear Gucci
He is
belt.
just such a cool character, and Black Panther was my first movie that I ever went back to watch again when it came out in the MCU. The first movie I went back to watch twice. Even though I never thought it was like that great. I don't know. It just, for some reason, like that Black Panther seemed way more CGI than I'd liked it to be. But honestly, I get it. So it was.
I liked
cool.
it.
It wasn't a bad movie. It was a really good movie. But,
It was really
the
solid.
fact that they didn't have the ability where Black Panther can literally like make energy weapons with his hands. I don't know. That was like, man, he could have literally did that. I guess they didn't do that in MCU. So
he was good. I
He
enjoyed
was
him a
good.
lot. It was Black Panther was actually the only hero movie I took my mom to see, and she liked it. And she's
It's a
normally
good movie.
not into that type of stuff.
shout out to Civil War, by the way, when the first debuted, my boy BP.
Whew, we gonna come back to a section of that in just
Man.
a bit.
I mean,
But for
Black
now-
Panther movie, it may not have been great, but it did a lot for a certain community.
Oh yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, moving on.
Aha.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Minus Miss Marvel.
No,
What?
it was Spider-Man at first.
It was Spider-Man at first, but I want to keep some variety through the
Okay.
conversation. I just didn't want to jump on the
I want to go back to Spider-Man
bad
after
way.
yours.
Oh yeah, facts. But for the most part, Miss Marvel, let's see. She's a real interesting character. For the most part, I truly don't know enough about her yet, but I always want to, just get to know her and see how her whole comic book lore and everything is about. But for the most part, she's just real interesting. I like how she looks, her powers for the most part. But yeah, she's pretty cool to me. That's really for the most part why I like her. It was no other person I can think of, in all honesty, because I don't like too many characters like that. I'm real specific when it comes to that type of shit. So yeah, that's about it for me.
Well, I wanna go ahead and talk about your actual favorite character, Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man?
Yeah,
drop back.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah, first off, Spider-Man is an incredible character. Incredible
facts.
character. That is the paper boy of Marvel. Like he,
Facts.
as a character, he was supposed to be this kid who had nothing, but somehow got these powers, and still low key wasn't nothing, because he didn't reveal he was still the same old nerdy kid who didn't profit from none of his superhero activities personally, but
He's
like,
just your
the
friendly
fact that-
neighborhood Spider-Man.
a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Keep in mind, a neighborhood Spider-Man. You know how many heroes that are like planetarian? That like if something goes wrong off world or on world, they don't worry about in street. If somebody gets robbed on a corner, whatever, like move on.
Looking at you, Soups.
Right? Right? Like if something, but if freaking Thanos want to come up, or Darkseid want to come up and fight, okay, now we got to suit up. Now we got it. But Spider-Man looks out for the little guy. That's a straight quote from the movie, from
Big
Homecoming.
facts.
Looks out for the little guy, And that's why I think a lot that what makes Spider-Man such a cool character is that a lot of heroes are more big threat type of issues. Batman is not one of them. Shout out Batman, real
facts, bro. You know what he said to freaking Superman in Justice League Dark? They was talking about something. Batman said, "I recommend spending more time on the streets instead of flying over them."
Oh yeah,
dude.
That's facts, man. That's real. That's what you can find a video online that's just, which is why Stan Lee made that character so incredible. Is the fact that he made it so where if it could feel like anyone could be Spider-Man. That's why there's multiple Spider-Man. Is that anyone can be Spider-Man. There's not one specific thing. There's not one specific person who can be Spider-Man. He made it to where it feels like you can be Spider-Man or you can be Spider-Man. You know, it's not specific. Like you can't get any old average Joe and be like, "Yeah, you're Thor." What? No, like,
oh, that's another subject.
Right, but like it's just his words are like real. Like that's true. Like the fact that you literally have a person who starts from like literally living in his aunt's house, still not even profiting from like risking his own life every single day to keep the city safe, ain't making no type of profit from the ish, you know, like and he still gotta hustle and bustle to get to third period science class. Like, bro, that is just something that a lot of kids can relate to, and a lot of a younger audience can relate to and look up to. And what makes Spider-Man so relatable is because it's just anybody can wear a Spider-Man mask.
Yeah.
I think what makes him even better than that, I promise, we're gonna let you go, Turtle. Give me a second. Let me talk about
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling.
I think that what makes it even better is that Spider-Man is one of the few heroes still has to balance his personal life in amongst all of his superhero stuff. Like,
right.
So it's like he's like you said. I mean, going to school and all that, but I mainly mean like his relationships too. Like his
with Gwen and
Mary Jane, his aunt, other characters that they always.
I gotta talk about Gwen.
He's another one of those characters where they always introduce like supporting characters as well. Right. That's what makes them good. Now they started doing that to other heroes in the MCU. Before that, it wasn't like that.
Spider-Man's kind of like Batman in the sense of he's got his own. Spider-Man is part of Marvel, obviously, but I feel like he's the biggest like solo.
Like Spider-Verse, man.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse is fire.
He's got his whole thing, and that's how Batman is. But another thing with Batman and Spider-Man is what AJ was just or Shadowfall was just talking about. Spider-Man's superhero personality is like a burden to him, right? So like being Spider-Man like makes him give up his life or part of his life. But Batman, on the other hand, would rather be Batman than Bruce Wayne. Yeah. So Bruce Wayne is to Batman. Bruce Wayne is to Spider-Man as Batman is to Peter Parker.
Oh, you almost made me tear up.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, I love the Spider-Verse, bro. Like Spider-Man is I don't really care too much for Spider-Man, but his universe is amazing. Like,
it's a good universe,
I love all his Segway characters. Miles Morales is fire. I freaking love Spider-Gwen. Like Spider-Gwen is probably. Actually, no, she is.
Her outfit is so cool.
Spider-Gwen is tied actually for my favorite hero character, but obviously she's not the one I chose. But I like Spider-Gwen a lot. She's first of all, she plays drums. I mean, anybody that knows me, that's an automatic win in my book. Second of all, she fine. Hey, so, yeah, she fine.
Another automatic win.
And then she's cool. She shows that she's struggling like constantly. She's in a band. She lives live. She loves music. She always got the headphones in, web swinging, and she's just all natural pretty much. And for the most part, she kind of flexes out to me like the loner that's not a loner. You know what I mean? Like you have friends, but you're still basically by yourself.
You choose to be alone.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Like she's always self-punishing herself for how she became Spider-Gwen. So I really have for her a lot.
Now, shout out to the Spider-Man villains when they're all freaking animals.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them, most of them. Freaking Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture. these animal villains.
Doc
I
Ock.
freaking like them. Doc Ock. Yup, him too. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Rhino is a bit stupid, but he's meant to be stupid.
Big facts.
If you were always running into things head first, literally, I don't know how many brain cells you would have left.
Yeah, true. You think they're ever gonna do anything with Scorpion in the new Spider-Man movies?
No, I think they forgot about it.
Because they at the end of who here has seen Homecoming?
Everybody understands.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do know at the end of that, right? They hint Scorpion, right?
Yeah.
Because
I
the
remember
dude
that.
who comes up to Vulture is Lily. So you know Spider-Man?
Well, you know,
And he's got that Scorpion tattoo on him.
you know, Vulture. Michael Keaton's Vulture is in what's that superhero movie coming out with Jared Leto? Vampire Man.
Oh, that vampire thing?
Oh yeah, that's
Morbius.
Yeah.
That looks clean.
Vulture's
honestly.
in that shit.
Really?
So they may follow that up in those movies.
Is it
Making,
more?
like, a
Isn't
bad guy
that?
scene coming.
Isn't that vampire supposed to be like an anti-hero?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I
nasty.
don't know.
Like he's what? That's what I
Venom's supposed to be
assumed.
too, but
Yeah, but Venom. Yeah, but he chooses to help. You know, like
Yeah.
oh hey, Spider-Man, run them hands.
Sometimes he's supposed to do that.
Run them hands up.
Run them hands up.
Okay.
Venom, that dude would just be like, "Oh, hey, Spider-Man, what's
Oh,
up?"
hey, what's up? Run them hands up. he said, Venom, I already beat you, but none of them are me. Okay.
Big facts.
Spider-Man,
Oh,
run them
no.
hands up. Put your paws up, homie.
We're beef. Oh no!
Right. I see you beat all them villains, but none of them are me.
Yeah, square up. I don't
Now-
do circles because I don't mess around.
Now until
Damn.
all of New York is in trouble, and then Aston is like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe let's not fight today. Maybe we kind of Thanos is looking kind of menacing over there. You wanna just go fight him? Come on.
Yeah, nature, he's scary.
Now that was a cool. I always thought that was a cool concept. I wish it would have built on the whole Venom takeover, like symbiote type thing, like they did in that video game Weather Shadows.
Nasty.
Oh yeah.
Get some Gwenom
That
in
was-
there.
Yeah, that was cool. That was also thick Venom in the Venom movie.
We ain't talked about it.
Oh yeah.
We didn't see it.
Woo!
We ain't.
I
Oh,
almost
man.
forgot about that movie. In all honesty.
I didn't even
fell
watch
asleep.
it, so.
You fell asleep. Nasty.
I fell asleep. That movie was, I don't know. It was alright.
Wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Wasn't good. Wasn't bad.
I mean, Eddie Brock was pretty cool.
I don't know.
Eddie Brock was alright.
I liked it, but I knew
He was the best
take
thing
that
about
they was. I knew what
Him
they
and
the
Venom.
take of it, but it's just like everybody said, it was too rushed.
It ain't
Like they-
accurate.
Also,
It's
the
super not
CGI fight
accurate.
at the end was I don't even know. I didn't even know what was happening.
Oh, the last boss fight? Yeah, I could not.
Yeah, I was
That was kind of a what
like,
the fuck moment.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wait, I thought Venom do turn good, but the
He
act.
does.
He does,
okay.
but not like that.
Oh yeah, not like that. Yeah. Get that
His
shit
motive for
done.
turning good in the movie was fucking dumb. Though.
it was like, oh shoot, I'm
Yeah.
trash, but you're trash on Earth. But you know, let's
Yeah.
be trash together, I guess.
Oh yeah, they said I'm kind of a loser on my planet.
Also, here's another issue. Eddie Brock was a dick.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
High
it's
school
supposed to
But
bully.
like, he even when he wasn't, even when it clearly was like, maybe let's not do this, where he clearly wasn't, should have not have done this. Like when he finally got separated from Venom in that little
Yeah.
hospital he was in,
Mhm.
He just left the freaking the love of his life in the freaking room with Venom. He
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah. He ain't smart. He ain't smart.
What? You what?
Oh
So-
no.
You know
Hey.
he eats.
Questionable judgment.
Yeah, it was quite a iffy.
Big facts.
Ugh. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. Wouldn't want to see it again, but you know, it was alright.
As long as I don't have to pay for it.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Fortunate
Get
of
that
movie theater.
And then what they did with freaking Carnage. Oh god. Oh god.
Hell
almost
no.
made me
Oh,
puke.
you talking about the end?
Nope.
Yes. that
Move it
almost
on.
made me throw
Hell
up.
no.
That almost made me throw up.
Move it on.
That
They
wig,
got
That
freaking
was
Woody, they got
wax
what's his
sauce.
name? Woody
that
Harrelson.
wig, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. There will be carnage. I was like,
No.
get
Hell
Carrot
no.
Top out of
Yeah,
my
you gotta quote
freaking
that
movie.
though, word for word.
Next.
Get
Moving
Carrot
on.
Top.
Anyway, Aaron, you're a
Bad
hero.
next.
Ugh.
Well, like I said earlier, I actually have 3 heroes tied. And I mentioned Gwenpool.
boy.
Not Gwenpool, what the hell? Spider-Gwen.
Gwen
Spider-Gwen is
You got it
fire.
right.
What? Hell no.
I'm gonna type that into Google. Gwen.
That's an actual hero.
What's the thing?
Yeah.
She's broken. She's bad broken, actually. But yeah, Spider-Gwen was one of them. On the other side is also my boy Damian Wayne. He's cool, but we can talk about him later. But at the top of the food chain, or at least the one I chose out of the 3, was my girl Elizabeth Betsy Braddock, aka Psylocke.
Okay.
So I really didn't know diddly squat about this character. First time I ever saw this character was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Gonna take it for a ride.
Put some ketchup on my fries.
For the angle with my
Alright.
fries.
Oh
I knew he was
man.
gonna say NBC2 because none of us knew who Sonic was until NBC2.
Hell no!
Everyone used that.
Big facts.
Everyone used that assist.
Didn't know who the
like
damn
character.
character was. We should know she was good. But yeah, like she looked cool, and I was like, this is an X-Men character. Let me go do some research. So I did some research, read some stuff, checked out the character, and I'm like, this character is really fire. A little dumb, but fire. Cause first off, the bitch keeps getting captured. Like, she gets tricked pretty often. It kind of makes me mad.
Mm-hmm.
But she makes up for it with what she can do. Like, she's been through a lot of stress. Like, she's gone through situations where she and her brothers were captured and their parents got strategically killed, and then she gets captured again and then gets freed by her brothers, and then they go off on people. She starts getting her training going. She gets captured again. And just eventually she gets to a point where she gets captured and her body actually gets switched with somebody else that was like a trained assassin under a guy. I forget what his name was. But she loses her original body. Like, she never gets, she goes back to her original body once because they did some crazy nonsense where they mind controlled her
Mm-hmm.
and put her back in her old body temporarily. But eventually she got moved back into her quote unquote her body, and she really just she's incredible. Like, her fighting ability is like super duper high. Like, she's cold. Like, she is ice water. Her power level, like with her telepath, like, they put her on par with Jean Grey. Like, she is by word of mouth from characters, an Omega level mutant. So she is strong.
Yeah.
But she dumb because she keeps getting captured. So, but I just like the way, I just like how she looks. I like the psychic power. The idea of psychic powers has always been one of if not my favorite set of powers, because like I think I mentioned this in one of the last talks. I like to RP, and I like to use psychic powers because it really is like the strongest power you can use if you use it right.
Yeah.
And Psylocke really represents the ideas that I had using psychic powers, being able to like do constructs with like a sword or shuriken or shields, the whole butterfly mask deal, just being basically an assassin on her own, just working other people when she gets into fights with them. Like when she squared up 1v1 in most of her fights, she almost always won. There were very few fights that she actually took L's unless she got jumped and captured. And she got captured a lot. Which I guess that was her trade-off. Her weakness was that she was just very prone to being the damsel in distress, but eventually would come back and just like rip a nigga to shreds. So I don't think it mattered too much. But like she's a really cool character. She has a lot of depth to her. She's been on multiple X-Men teams. She had actually quit the X-Force
Really?
under a pretense that she wanted to stop like fighting, but then there was a quote that I saw that said something like, at first she taught herself that she could kill as long as it was for the greater good.
Right.
But at a certain point, she wasn't killing because it was for the greater good. She was killing because she liked to kill. So it was like, I'm like, whoa, this character kind of edgy, but I like it because she's fine. but she, in all honesty, she is a super cool character. She's really awesome. So Psylocke that's my girl.
All right.
Now, still in the realm of the favorites, I'm gonna actually, how I want to do this one. Okay, so we're gonna pick some popular-esque squads, and you're gonna pick a squad that is your favorite. All right. Now, for the sake of this particular thing, we're going to stick with like base, at least most well-known versions of the squad. So here are the squads I'll give out. We'll do Justice League, New 52 Justice League. So that means instead of having Martian Manhunter, they have Cyborg.
Okay.
And I think that means no Aquaman too.
No, Aqua.
He's not New 52.
Yeah, he's in there, but he's not like at the start of him, isn't he?
He's in the first arc and the second arc, I think, but he kind of comes and goes.
Because the team I'm thinking is Supes, Bats, Wonder Woman, Lantern, Cyborg, Shazam, and Flash.
Yeah.
Those are the 7 I'm thinking of. But we can use Aquaman too if we really want to. So we'll go ahead and add Aquaman in there. So that's that squad, Justice League. Then we'll have, of course, the Avengers. And we'll use the MCU Avengers, because right now that's the one people know the most of. So you got Cap, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Hulk, Who else? Is that it? Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's of the most well known, or at least the main for the Avengers, as far as
Yeah.
that first movie goes. If we want to, we can include Vision.
Mm.
Oh, if we include, I guess if we include Vision, we'd have to Scarlet Witch and
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
we
true.
can.
Because she was in the first movie, technically.
Alright. The next squad we'll use is X-Men. So for X-Men, we're gonna of course use Charles. We're gonna go it for the lulz. We're gonna throw in Magneto.
Yeah, he's like a mainline member.
Then we'll do Wolverine, of course, Cyclops, Beast, Jean Grey, Iceman, Storm.
Oh yeah, the one Iceman.
need that Iceman, man.
And Colossus.
Colossus can be in.
Colossus, yeah.
And I think that's it after that.
I'm kind of mad.
we going for
I think
anything else?
Rogue. Yeah, I think
Rogue,
Rogue,
she-
maybe. I'm not
Not in
sure.
the comics, really.
Yeah.
She's kind
They
of
made her a bigger deal in the movies than she was in the comics.
I was gonna say, if
She's
anything,
gonna,
she did,
she's gonna animate it at least.
Yeah,
She didn't start
X-Men Next Generation.
yeah, she didn't
I
start
see.
getting big to like the 2000s though, like 19. Yeah, she didn't start getting like
Yeah.
pushed into the spotlight till then.
The original X-Men team was Beast, Iceman, Jean Grey, Kitty Pryde, and I think that's it, Colossus. But Wolverine was there soon after, not too long.
Yeah.
Right. The next squad, we're going to use Teen Titans.
Ooh.
Hold up.
Now, do I want to use my... No, we'll go with old school cartoon Teen Titans. So that's Dick Grayson Robin, Raven, Starfire, Beast Boy, and Cyborg. Those five.
Oh yeah!
Then the next team, I need one more
Jesus.
team. For the lowest, we'll say Fantastic Four. That's the simple.
Well, we know nobody's picking them.
Okay. There's 5 squads, is what you said.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Right. Out of those 5 squads, who do you want? Which actually, let me rephrase it. Which squad would you seek to join?
Oh man.
As a hero,
Yeah.
I don't. Well, the Fantastic Four wouldn't be the Fantastic Four if I join it, so
I mean, you can be the Fantastic Five.
I'm not.
Yeah,
we can just-
It
we can
don't.
just
It don't. It
replace one
don't
of
pop like Fantastic Four.
Shit, the
pick
movie
somebody
didn't
out.
pop at all.
No, I know. We know that. That's not the hero.
Either one of them, the first one or it's Reba.
The first one wasn't that bad.
Quarter Fred
Yeah,
Divine.
I enjoyed the first one.
It's
Other than
clobbering time.
Man, in all
Doctor Doom was
honesty,
kind of cold in it.
all honesty, the reason why we like the first one because they had your girl Jessica Alba in there. Other than
hold on.
that,
All right. Well, hold on.
You ain't gotta say it.
Hold on. Listen, you ain't gotta insult me like that.
Oh no!
no. Nah, I'm just
Okay.
playing. Fucked with
Human
it.
Torch was real.
Yeah, I fucked
Oh,
with
Chris
it.
Evans.
Yeah,
Yeah, real trash.
Oh,
got
All
him.
right. Anyway,
Okay.
Okay, like when you say join, like what am
be part of the
I?
team.
Like I'm gonna be a part of that team.
Yes,
gonna be
we're
throwing
going to
them
be
good
on
hands.
that squad.
I hit you with.
I'm joining MCU.
Okay.
They take good. Tony Stark take good care of you.
It does look
Man,
Let me hit you with. I would pick X-Men. Emotionally, I like them the most.
We
Out of
die
the
too
teams.
much.
I read a lot of X-Men comics.
Ah!
Well, they do die.
They died too much.
Logically,
They use
they're
the
the
cloud
only
cover.
group. They're the only group that is focused on teaching you. So they're gonna help. I mean, if you're like new, seeking a team out to join or whatever, theoretically, they're gonna teach you how to best use your shit.
He does have
Yeah,
a
I need
point.
to teach
They're
them
not
how to
gonna.
throw good
They
hands.
expect you to pop off.
Yeah, they're not
We
gonna.
thought had a broken
the school, that Xavier School is an actual in
Xavier
the universe.
ain't
Is
not
an
a-
actual
They'll-
school.
They
Ain't
will
not a
find you.
textbook.
They gonna put your life on the line in a second, but
Ain't not a textbook in that school gonna teach me how to throw better hands.
Hey,
their school
Wolverine
will-
sure the hell will.
Wolverine will.
Man, I'll
And-
uppercut the life out Superman.
Oh.
Fucking Wolverine.
Actually,
Out
that
of
school is
Wolverine?
an actual school.
Yes.
You gonna break your hand.
You think?
That bitch made a metal.
You don't even. First off, if I'm joining these things, I already got powers. If I don't have powers, there's no reason for me to.
Alright, let's do that
You-
then.
you gotta have
Hold
powers
up,
to
hold
do
up,
X-Men.
hold up. Back up. Let's back this question up one then.
He about to say, what's
Pick
your
a
power?
superpower.
Oh, here we go.
Pick a superpower.
I'm gonna pick a superpower.
Tell me your superpower and its weakness.
Nasty.
I gotta sit here and not only think of a power that I like,
Facts. I
but
gotta
think
think
of
about
its
the
weakness.
Actually, let me rephrase. Think of a superpower and your weakness. Not necessarily
Oh.
the power's weakness, but something somebody could exploit to beat you and your power.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
weakness
got
is
it.
these
Alright.
bitches.
I don't like this dude.
Every
I'm about to give it. That's my weakness right there. H talking that dumb ish.
You
Bring
put a
H
five
anywhere in
superpower
his
in
vicinity.
front of me. I don't know
Cannot
what to do.
It's gonna confuse me. My power's gonna deactivate, and then you can just give me a mean right hook.
See, I was gonna go super speed, but I don't know.
I would have some kind of reflex based power. I think I want to be able to throw hands.
You can pick a power set.
Hold up. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna be able to lift shit with my brain. I'm gonna be able to.
No.
Damn, my nigga said I'm gonna be
Piss me
I'm
off.
gonna-
Odd.
That is not a power set.
If me and Wolverine fight, he is going to get crunched into a ball.
Alright, this ain't working. Let me. I'm gonna do this a different way. Another different way. Pick the team and your mentor.
Oh, okay.
So your mentor would basically be, obviously for that person to be your mentor, your powers would have to be similar to theirs.
All right, so I'm still going MCU Tony Stark.
So you just gonna
mentor
get a
Tony
suit.
Stark. Basically, I don't care how good Wolverine is, he can get this chest beam.
Chest beam. That's gonna be your. That's gonna be the name of yours. Chest beam.
Yeah, regenerate all your skin back.
Nasty.
Well, as before, shoot, man, we already have someone pick the MCU. The mentor
Picking
too.
Team Titans.
Same one.
Go ahead, H. Talk to him.
I'm picking Teen Titans because
You get
I
folded.
like. First off, ho.
Hey, talk to that ninja, bro. Let's go.
What he say? Wait, what he say?
He's I'm gonna get folded. That was just
What Beast Boy gonna teach you? Come on, bro.
I didn't. First off, ho, I didn't even say who my mentor is. My mentor
okay.
really gonna be Raven because I'm ignorant. So I'm gonna use that power.
She can barely understand home powers. What you gonna?
H gonna get ignorant and fold you.
I'm trying to destroy people. I'm gonna be that good guy that kill you.
Yeah,
You did wrong
no.
too many times. Die. I'm just crush your soul.
Alright, so
Alright.
I'm going Justice League. Y'all know who my mentor is. Come on, don't even
Batman,
play.
I got you.
Don't even play. Come on now. I'm folding everybody.
Oh,
I'm gonna think
man.
about it, but like, huh? I know your weakness, bitch.
You gonna find? Wait, your mentor Batman?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they're gonna have the notes on his
Yeah,
iPhone.
you gotta wait. Fight, folks.
Hey, I still got hands.
Yeah, you got hands.
Batman teaching you fucking jujitsu.
Till Houston get pissed off.
Judo.
A nigga is dying.
I could fuck around and say Superman.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Well,
forgot
I tell you
Superman.
what,
I'm a
you don't-
god.
If we
I got
won't
weaknesses.
fear Aaron at first, but
No.
give us
he
time. He gonna come
whip
out.
the
And
notes
we have
app
the
on his
weakness
phone
of
with your weakness
everybody.
listed on there.
Facts,
Right.
bro.
He
Going to
gonna
the.
fold your ass.
I'm
We
gonna have
ain't
a
gonna see him
bead.
for a whole month, and he gonna come back and just be like, "Hey, what's
Oh,
up?"
yeah.
Then talk bad to everybody because he know he can kill him.
I'm gonna have a bead. Weakness wiki.
Oh yeah.
He gonna have it like a note on his phone.
Hell yeah.
And what he goes up to, he's like, "Hold on, what's your name again?"
Hold up.
Scrolls through his phone. Goes to his phone. Oh, that's you.
Alright, I think I got it.
I bet.
I,
Boomerang.
Boomerang.
What you got, Shadow? Which team you on?
Oh man, it's it. Hard also choosing a mentor, especially because I didn't remember all the teams whenever he was talking about it.
you want me to?
No.
You want to
You
repeat?
were
the
vibing
team?
too much.
I was vibing too much, man. Y'all know what happens whenever
The tune hits.
we set the music at the beginning, dog. I started vibing while everyone else talking.
Bruh.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can remember the teams then. Justice League,
Yeah.
Justice League New 52,
Yeah.
MCU,
Yeah.
Teen Titans, X-Men, Fantastic
Fantastic
Four.
Four, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'm proud of myself.
good stuff, dog.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I didn't remember about New
Thanks.
52 Justice.
Wait,
League.
can I
That was one.
change my answer? I didn't think about it. I just want
Oh my.
Yeah,
Oh no,
Go ahead.
go ahead, because I'm still
to.
thinking.
Alright, so I'm going Justice League Martian Manhunter.
Oh, he's not on the agenda.
Is he not?
Not for the 52.
Not New 52, regular Justice League.
Well, what?
And is he not on the regular Justice League?
Not in the new 52?
I'm not talking about New 52. You
That's what I'm
said
saying, we're
Justice
using
League and
New
then Justice
52,
League, New
Justice
52. Oh, just New 52. Okay. Okay. Well,
Let's just say he's gonna be an alien. He about to be real broke.
Martian
Yeah.
Manhunter?
yeah, I
yeah.
was gonna go Martian Manhunter, and just look normal. But then you make me angry. I just turn into you and beat your own ass.
Nigga, I'll light you on fire.
Got him.
That's fine. I guess I'm still Iron Man.
You be Iron Tank, Iron Bird.
Basically. Ooh, I like that.
I'm Tiger.
Okay, first off, that is cheap as hell.
Everybody are friends.
What about you? Comment while Shadow is thinking.
I would still pick X-Men, and I want to be able to fold people, so I go Wolverine.
You
Give me that metal skill.
I don't know,
let
man.
me throw hands with somebody.
This
He
did
can take the L first, then he'll come back.
that
He
legit
ain't
comment
lying.
said, "I'm gonna eat these bullets. I bet I'm gonna beat your ass."
Hey, you can knock me out, but I'm gonna come back.
No, I'm with Tony Stark. I'm
Give me
gonna
that
find a way to.
Bro, Wolverine cuts Sentinels down, man. He ain't worried about no Iron Man.
Oh, yeah, he cut Sentinels, not Iron Man.
Oh,
Okay.
This ain't no just regular flying
I
robot.
need that.
Oh,
I
Hey,
need
no.
that
bet.
regeneration,
I'm gonna
that
team up with the
metal
Iron Bird. It's gonna be Bat
Let's
Turtle.
go.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna look up Bat Turtle. Please.
Oh no.
You would have went better with Turtle Man. Turtle.
Turtle Man, L's.
Put this
No,
right here.
Turtle Man.
Yeah,
That's
hold on. Turtle
gross.
Man could mean anything.
I'm gonna look at this.
That mug was
What the?
Bat Turtle.
Hell no.
Bat Turtle.
That is out of line.
That mug was fire. Bat Turtle.
You want another one?
Nope.
Here,
Nope.
give you this one.
That was definitely not fired.
Oh my god.
Oh, hold up. That second one is.
Oh no.
That's actually pretty clean.
The art is
Yeah.
kind of cold.
Yeah, run them hands up, Wolverine.
Going pretty
Nah, he ain't
close.
shit.
Not gonna lie.
Actually, I don't even need to be near you to fight you. Orbital strike.
Nah. Oh,
Hey, I hacked your shit.
it'll take me a week. I'll come back.
Nah, it'll take you a week.
I'll
You're
be
not
happy for a
wrong.
week.
The healing factor, dude, bro.
Right?
depending on what age Wolverine is, he may be back within the day.
Facts.
Not lying.
Dude, I've had enough time to think. I think I'm going new. Not I think I'm going new 52 Justice League, and my mentor is Cyborg. Specifically because cybernetic enhancement is black. It's the second reason.
I'm not gonna say that that's racist.
The first reason is that cybernetic enhancements have always caught my interest.
Oh, so you
Cyborg
gonna
is
get
real.
you gonna get ran over by a whole 18-wheeler, right, and come back to life? So that's what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I got ran over, I can't use my lamp, so they were like, "Hey man, here's this mechanical body." I'm like, "Ooh, bet I'm gonna blow a nigga up." So,
he about to come through with that cannon. Boop, 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 boop.
yeah, man.
What your cannon sound like? Your cannon sound like pew, pew.
Uh-uh.
Oh man, nah, bro. I catch it. To do slip and hit with that boop boop.
You ain't gotta disrespect him like that.
Hit him with that booty knife cannon. With that bloop, 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 bloop. The bullet is enormous. Head ass.
I'm trying to figure out the name of my character still.
Ooh, bet. AJ's character's name is Head Ass.
Oh man. Tragic.
Bro, I'm just gonna try and not be the head ass to have the off switch on his back, alright?
Oh man.
Big facts.
Turn around the blueprints on you on his phone.
Right.
Facts, bro. Oh my god.
You give Aaron enough time, we all dead.
Facts.
Big facts.
You're gonna attach me to a magnet.
Right.
Can't move for shit.
Alright. Raha's hero name is Face Ass.
Because that's the first part I kill, right? I destroy the face.
And then the ass.
and then the
For the
ass.
face and you go for the ass, that's mad weird, dude.
Super.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I can't help it.
I don't know, man. Turtle Man sound weird. Bat Turtle sound fire.
You sound
Bat
like
turtle.
a dumbass.
Oh, here comes Bat Turtle. What's wrong?
I am Bat Turtle.
No, I'd have to be some type of bat, something that's not taken, and there's a lot of shit that's taken.
So since the Raven is I would have to be con man. No, that's
Condor?
stupid. Ain't this already a Condor?
I don't know. There's Joe Condor from, what is it? Tatsunoko, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could just be
Condor.
Condor.
Yeah.
Be Condor, you could
Bat
be
Shell?
Crow,
Bat who?
Bat
Shell.
Yes?
Maybe.
Or you could be Bat Toys for Blastoise.
That sounds gay.
Sounds better than Bat Turtle, I'll give you that.
I mean,
I like Bat Turtle low key. That mug
I like Bat
hilarious.
Turtle.
I am Bat Turtle.
Oh my god. Okay, yo, wag.
Bat Shell kind of neat.
I like Bat Turtle more.
Get a Bat Turtle. Doo doo doo.
Shut up. Hate you. Hate you so much.
Yeah.
These teas kind of gross. These teas kind of epic gross. Y'all chose some weird stuff. So be it Shadow go be on squad. So I'm really gonna use Shadow to hack all you stupid asses. Except except Comic, he go just claw a bit.
Oh yeah.
We could just put him in a bubble.
Oh yeah.
Facts.
Just watch him be angry.
I'm gonna just make Magneto mad. Be like, hey, he said your mom was a salamander. He gonna throw you in the lake.
Right?
Your mama was a salamander.
Magneto does clown his ass every time they fight.
Magneto,
Magneto straight clowns
Y'all remember the Days of Future Past movie? Wolverine's one of the main characters, and in the last fight, he just gets tossed.
Facts.
Never comes back.
man.
Just dug some metal into him and just threw that dude.
Oh yeah. Chunks him across the stage.
Smart.
I can't believe. I can't believe that he actually ripped the adamantium from him in one of the comics.
Yeah, he does
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I think he does it in the one of the cartoons too.
That stuff is gruesome, bro. Like
Yeah,
that has to be golly, bro. Like
yeah, it messes him up.
no.
My dude's healing factor was working overtime.
He's like psychological ruin for a long ass time.
Like that had to be just
getting it
mind-numbingly
on.
painful.
Oh, yeah.
Facts. Having it being straight ripped from that dude. Oh my
Oh yeah,
god.
ripped off his bones.
Magneto's a freaking savage, dog.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Magneto break the
Yeah, I was
chains,
thinking
you
about. I'm
want
gonna try with Magneto.
Now you
on the
OP.
X-Men?
I did.
Yeah.
I did give him
Okay,
Magneto.
Let's just say that 3 of us, this squad is OP now, okay? Because 3 of us are on X-Men. None of y'all survived.
I'm specifically gonna go Magneto so I can fight Tank.
Wait, there's only
Why
wait.
me?
There's only
When
two
the
people in
Iron
X-Men.
Man costume comes out, I'm just gonna dismantle it.
Right.
There's 2 people on X-Men. There's 2 people on Justice League 52, and Raha's over there with Teen Titans.
Fuck.
Go. I'm out here learning from Raven.
I'm out here learning from Raven. I'm about to condor some.
Yeah, he got sent out in the Shadow Realm. Y'all fucking
Right.
around, man.
They gonna come in and be like Sahala, Sahala.
Oh,
No,
Damn.
you know you come up with that bit like Sa Alasa TUV. Salasa Ili. Sorry.
I'm like, come get this TV.
Hate this ninja, bro. Can't stand it, man.
Come get this TV.
Bro, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this name gotta be better. I ain't got nothing, bro. I really don't have anything that can link to me. Like, I don't know, Bat Tail.
Battail.
Batwing is already a person. Freaking,
yeah.
I don't know.
Wing.
What?
I don't know. I'm just coming up with stuff.
I mean, I could not be a bat specifically and be like, what? Why don't just be a Robin? The fuck?
Right?
I'm just a Robin.
But would you be named Robin?
Yeah.
No, you're being a turtle.
You just be named Sparrow and move on.
You can,
Isn't that a hero already?
I mean, everything's practically a hero at this point.
It is a hero. It's a female. It's the female Robin.
Oh, well, there you go.
I bet.
Who-
I'm just
who we
Green
talking
Robin. About that.
Sure.
We know we got Red Robin already, so I'm just Green Robin.
yeah.
Red Rabbit. Yum.
I'm gonna be Condor throwing gang signs in the Shadow Realm. Holla at your boy.
I.
There you go. On that
But
And we back to ignorant.
You see the B, I hit the B.
oh my!
This man.
I don't like this dude. And alright, so let's get into some of the MCU, since we all got repping good old Marvel right now. What do y'all think was the apex of the MCU? What movie do you think really made you say MCU is good as hell?
Civil War.
I would also
one
say
is that
Civil
one?
War. The first
Civil
one,
War.
Black Panther entered.
First one. Oh,
But
gotcha.
like the fact that they
Cap
that they
3.
took a risk.
Yeah.
The fact that they took in that movie. First off, I didn't think they'd do it. I didn't think they'd have the freaking the cojones to do it. I was Civil War was a huge thing in the comics. I mean, there'd have been more. There should have been more people, but you know,
There's only so much money to go around.
Yeah, they you know, Robert Downey. You know, it's millions to even get him to do a scene, but you know,
Big facts.
But Civil War was so in my head so good. Like, and in that movie, the low key the villain wins. Like he splits the team up. Like that was his goal, to make sure that they as a team crumble and to watch them fall apart. So he honestly wins. The fighting was, oh my god, the fight. Oof.
Can we talk about how Tony got clapped?
First off, disrespectful to Tony.
Facts.
Disrespectful to Tony. Two freaking war criminals fight an orphan. Like that is so disrespectful.
You know what? That's legitimately like that would be the news. Like, it's not like two superheroes and a Russian super spy go at it. No, it's two war criminals a person beating an orphan's ass.
Right.
Like,
and we get a. Oh, go ahead.
First off, hold on. First off, Tony was getting beat at the beginning. Then he turned up on their stupid asses.
Yeah,
he did turn up on their stupid asses.
We got a first look at Tony when he's actually trying to kill someone.
So let's kick his ass. Boop boop
Like,
boop boop boop. Run them things, Cap. Run them things, Cap.
He said, you can't beat him hand to hand. He said, analyze his fight pattern. Complete. Let's kick his ass. And Cap was throwing them hands. Like I gotta give it to Cap.
Cap was throwing hands.
He tried to throw a left hook. Cap said, "Nah, fam, I'm the American." Threw up that shield and said, "Nah, brother, pop, pop, ooh, ooh." Left hook, combo breaker.
America.
Combo breaker.
Stars and stripes.
He hit him with the auto breaker, then he hit him with justice.
I feel like that's something that we neglect to see in a lot of movies now, is that when like get for real pissed off, ready to kill somebody. We've never seen Tony just neglect his own life by using a close range rocket on somebody's head like that. Like he was ready to sit there, eat the explosion, and blow off Bucky's head. Like, but ooh, man. That's something I wish we see a lot more. That's something I wish I see Spider-Man do.
Just get mad.
Yeah, just get like he did that in the Tobey Maguire movies, but like the younger Spider-Man. Yeah. Because I feel like he's a bit too. He is a kid, but I think he's a little too.
Is Spider-Man 3?
I don't like MCU Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. I feel like they've rebooted him so many, but.
I mean, he's a kid, I know, and that's like his defining thing. But I thought this attract a lot of all that stuff I talked about Spider-Man earlier, where it's like the hardship he goes through and shit like that. I don't really feel like the kid in the movies. He doesn't have that much. I mean, like his apartment he lives in with his aunt is like pretty nice apartment, even nice by like. I mean, they live in New York, so it's just gotta be expensive, but it's way nicer than what I live in.
I mean, that have you seen his room?
Yeah, exactly. He gets taken under the wing of Tony Stark. That's the main thing I don't like, is that what I was talking about earlier. Spider-Man kind of be independent. I mean, he is on team sometimes. Batman's independent.
That's what I hear a lot of people criticize about that new Spider-Man, is that the fact that people are they're putting so much emphasis on Iron Man. Exactly. It doesn't feel like Spider-Man is his own character.
Exactly, and
they need him to struggle.
Yeah, both his solo movies. I mean, the first one, it was just directly trying to like impress Iron Man, and the second one was all about, I guess, spoiler alert, but Iron Man being dead.
Yeah.
And then him dealing with Iron Man being dead.
All right.
And in the end, his solution to that is pretty much become the next Iron Man. He's got like his robot suit. He designed himself,
All for Tony.
What I like about Spider-Man in the comics is, the handmade suit. That he invents the web shooters, he don't get them from. Well, I guess he invents them himself in the MCU, but
he's still making like the web.
Yeah, but most of his shit comes from Iron Man.
Now, would you say one is better than two? Because I think one is better than two.
Yeah. When I watched two, I was like, man, that's a pretty good movie. But the more I thought about it, I kind of
Homecoming was better than Far From Home.
Homecoming was better than Far From Home.
Yeah.
I like Far From Home.
Would you say that?
I like Far From Home better than Homecoming.
There's segments of Far From Home I like. I like that it's a different. It's the only Spider-Man movie I've seen that's not in New York. You know, it's Mysterio is actually, I think, a pretty well done villain, but I mean it's the same thing. Mysterio and Vulture in MCU, their whole motivation is Iron Man, like screw them over. Like Vulture less so, but Mysterio directly, it's like Iron Man screwed me over and I want revenge on Iron Man, who's dead.
That's true.
So you know, I think he's a pretty good actor. The kid is a poison, but you know.
Yeah.
Like the MCU as a whole is really built around Iron Man in the first place, and
that's because it started with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the whole point. Their whole intention was build it around Iron Man in the first place.
Yeah.
Like that's what they aimed to end up with the whole overall direction of get to this point and start it however you want to start it. Which is something obviously the DCU should take notes from.
Oh man! Oh
yeah.
You know how great the DCEU would have been if they had done that approach.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
They screwed up so much. Like I don't understand why they did BVS.
Honestly, from the beginning, I mean, I like Man of Steel. I'll defend that movie. It's not
That's a
great,
good movie.
but as soon as he popped off Odyssey, and it's kind of. I don't really mind Superman killing, but when he did that, I read a bunch of shit that was like, this is why Superman should not kill. And then, at the time, I was like, you know, that's a circumstantial thing, but then you watch BBS, and Superman is kind of just collateral damaging. He's collateral damaging folks all the time in that book.
That movie pissed me off.
Yeah, collateral
Batman is
damage.
literally mowing people down in that movie.
Just
Fucking Batman
those in the DC movies are like, I was like, those people in
Yep.
Exactly. Oh yeah,
They ruined it.
Yeah. They destroyed so many buildings in Man of Steel.
They completely ruined the DC.
Yeah.
They can't. First off, that was Doomsday.
Yeah.
Like what? That was Doomsday.
Yeah. They do him.
They did the. Also, freaking what's his name? Who was supposed to be like Lex Luthor or Lex Luthor's
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, like they tried to do the whole unhinged Joker thing where he's like all real insane. He's well, this is what it is. Oh, you're
Should we have a league of our own?
Like they tried to do that whole thing. It's just like I was like, I mean,
he ruined Lex for me a lot. Lex is cool. Lex is honestly a cool character, and he just destroyed it. Like
the Lex
Lex
Luthor in Superman Returns was better than that. Like
Batman and BBS is Lex Luthor.
Oh,
like, that is
they
like
ruined it.
Once it beat Superman, kill Superman, and like everything he does is Lex Luthor.
They completely ruined it. First off, it was Batman versus Superman for like 5 minutes.
Right.
Like the one big fight, and which, in my opinion, I didn't like too. Like it was so slow.
I just don't like either series, either MCU or DCU. They just evolved into ultimately it's just gonna be a big ass CGI, like a video game cutscene, like two dudes slamming against each other, like.
And they can't use. They ruined it because they can't use Superman's death anymore.
Yeah.
He died already. Was he gonna come back again?
Like Superman's death was supposed to be super grand. Like every other iteration I've seen with Superman's death, like Death of Superman with the New 52 movie series, that shit was amazing. Like it showed, because they had all the Justice League straight up fail to beat this hulking monster that is straight up just erasing the Justice League pretty much, and then Supes comes through and still gets his ass beat and is struggling like deathly hard to try and bring this dude down, and it's not working. Like you're literally watching Superman bleed, and it's like, what the fuck? He can do that?
Yeah. Hopeful. I mean, DC. What I like about DC Comics, because I read a lot of them, is when they do like their one shots and shit. Like when it's, I don't really care about the continuity of DC, I guess, where it's all been like these long term ass 50-year Batman story or whatever. I like the ones that are like everybody, it's like everybody knows who Batman is, right? You ain't gotta like start from the beginning with Batman. So you can do a Batman story that's just like, Batman's been Batman for a while, or it's kind of like how MCU Spider-Man skipped over his origin, like he's just Spider-Man. I hope the DCEU turns into just like stories about those characters. I mean, we know them. We don't need to see their origin story every time. So you can have a different actor play Superman. You can have. We're gonna have the new Batman, So I don't know.
Ben Affleck was a good Batman.
He was, actually was. Everybody threw a fit when he got cast. But
I liked older Batman.
I liked his Bruce Wayne.
His Bruce Wayne, This was a different that Batman versus Superman. That was a different Batman. This Batman killed people. This Batman was like Tanner said. This is like the older, not really much of a. This was a seasoned veteran Batman. We saw we saw his like Joker stuff. We saw he's been through a ton. And this is this Batman's had enough. And since it's Bruce Wayne's had enough. Okay, he's not. He's killing folk. You piss him off, he's killing you.
Yeah, that's that's pretty much the secret in casting hero roles. What you're really looking for is not somebody who can play the hero, but the face behind the hero. You're not casting for Batman, you're casting for Bruce Wayne. You're not casting for Spider-Man, you're casting for Peter Parker, which usually leads into the hero.
That's
so true.
That particular thing is why the Amazing Spider-Man was too bad. Andrew Garfield, he ain't bad in the costume, but he's like the edgy skater Peter, and I just.
Here's what I never understood. You said Andrew Garfield, the Amazing Spider-Man movies. The one when they put Jamie Foxx in there as Electro.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
Okay, I didn't watch the Amazing Spider-Man 2, so maybe I'm hampered by not watching that movie.
You are.
But
the first one was really.
Yeah. First one ain't bad.
Okay, so it's because I didn't see the second.
2 is probably the worst Spider-Man movie. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is probably the worst.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst Spider-Man movie.
Oh, no. Well, good thing you didn't watch it then. I actually like Andrew Garfield. So but again, that's probably because I only saw the first one.
I like him when he's in the costume. I like him when he's in the costume. But I don't think the skater, kind of aloof, emo.
Here's the thing that I never got. All right, they tried to post these characters as first off, and I hope y'all agree, and the people watching agree. Tobey Maguire, in my opinion, was the best Peter Parker.
Oh yeah,
all of them. Out of all of them. I think, and that's the thing you were talking about, Tanner, is that they cast him, or I think it was Aaron that said it. Either or.
Cast for the person.
They cast for Peter Parker instead of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That was a perfectly cast Peter Parker,
exactly.
But it didn't work as Spider-Man. He sounded depressed. He sounded sad and alone. Like I don't think you know this. I'm the sheriff around these parts.
Yeah, he sounded like Peter B. Parker.
Yeah.
Right. But that wasn't that. But I don't think that was the take that they meant to go on Spider-Man. Which honestly, why I didn't like.
No, and I mean
that was a darker Spider-Man.
The guy that y'all talking about the original still?
Yeah, the Tobey Maguire ones.
Sam Raimi directed them, and he only really directs movies that are cheesy on purpose, So I feel like as they go on, the first one is kind of like a safe superhero movie, 2 is good, and then 3 is just goofy as fuck. And I think that's all he does horror movies mostly, and they're all like that. They're all just goofy.
Shout out Sandman being a way cooler character in 3 than Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
Sandman was such a great character.
Shout outs to the Eddie Brock and Spider-Man 3.
No. Count down.
Come on, he was better than the Venom movie.
Wait,
you talking about Topher Grace?
Man, come on.
I thought that Venom. Well, as a character, I just didn't care.
Yeah, I like Venom better in the Solo movie than I do.
Yeah, in the Solo, because the movie's about him,
Yeah,
that's a bad movie. but the character he's not bad. I mean, it's not Venom. It's not comic Venom, but the character's
Yeah,
kind of
but-
funny. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's because Tom Hardy is fire.
Yeah, Tom Hardy's good.
Tom Hardy's a good actor. Great
He
actor.
plays,
Shout
he
out.
plays Venom and Eddie Brock, right?
Yeah.
He's the voice for Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Chocolates
that was-
and tater tots.
That's what I think the reason why these Spider-Mans have been kind of up and down is because neither one of them really worked that well together.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's
Tobey Maguire was a great Peter Parker, but wasn't really a good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man, but he honestly didn't seem like a good Peter Parker because I don't understand how you're supposed to make these super freaking these handsome dudes who got all this hair gel and looks like they just got off of a cover shoot look like they're supposed to be the nerdy kid in school or like this
Right.
super nerdy guy.
I think
I don't-
the most comic accurate movie Spider-Man they've had, like Peter Parker Spider-Man, is from the Spider-Verse movie.
Oh,
Peter
but-
B. Parker and that bitch, he is the most accurate to me. I mean, like when I'm talking about being like a goofy ass adult,
yeah.
that's what separates Spider-Man from like the edgier Marvel characters. You know?
Well, I think it's easier for those you talking about the Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It's easier for that because you don't really need a full-on human body.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Works-
Tom McGuire kind of thick in the Spider. You know what I mean? Not you know.
I know.
You could have said
He
stocky.
was-
You could have said a
he
little
was out of shape in
chunky.
those movies.
You said thick.
Right.
He's a little out of shape.
Is he dummy thick?
No.
All right, we're moving on. We're
No, let's
moving on.
move on with that.
You put a spin on that.
Let's move on.
But I
Okay,
think
we need to drop back.
And as Tom Holland, I think
Alright.
honestly that's the closest we're gonna get to a all right Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, maybe what I think it'll be good is to watch him grow up and
Yeah.
continue to make Spider-Man movies. Like,
I'm
that'd be
interested.
cool.
I'm interested in his third movie more
Right.
than I am the last two because his third Iron Man's finally gone. Like 2 was all about moving on past Iron Man being dead. So 3, I
Right.
think we can finally get a real Spider-Man.
It's like, okay, he's growing up. You know, that's why I think one. We're gonna circle back to the original question.
Yeah.
One, I think Homecoming as a whole was better than 2 because it didn't feel like when he was faced with issues and problems and like when he thought he could be like this amazing hero like the Avengers, he wasn't, right? We saw like him grow and be like, no one's gonna come and help you. You need to
Right.
grow up. You need to get yourself out of these situations.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
he did good
actually be
arc.
a hero. Yeah, right.
And
That's
I
why.
I think that arc is repeated. I think they just kind of repeat the same thing in 2. I mean, like he gets bodied, and then he goes in that plane and makes his second Spider-Man suit or his new Spider-Man suit or whatever, And
Right.
it's just not as effective that.
Yeah.
In 1, he puts his homemade suit on. He goes and flies his own vulture or whatever.
Well, I didn't. Maybe because I've watched a lot of anime, and it's just
Yeah.
like the villain made it seem like Iron Man's death was his fault. If only he was
Yeah.
better.
That's
Type
Lion
deal,
King.
like in animes where it's like you were supposed to be strong enough at 3
Yeah.
years old to stop your parents from dying.
Yeah.
Like what?
Big facts.
Like this he can't help that.
Yeah.
I don't know how he was supposed to stop Iron Man from dying there. Like
Yeah.
Man, he just came back.
In that particular situation, they were on a battlefield, miles wide. They
Right.
had to cross it.
Yeah, that was a big ass battle.
Oh yeah.
Now when they did the whole like VFX thing, that was cool.
That was a beautiful fight.
That was so cool to watch.
Cap,
That's
can
why
you
I
hear
think
me? On your left.
Oh, when Spider-Man fought Mysterio and it was like a big freaking visual effects battle. And I forgot
Are you
that
talking
was,
about that?
was the, yeah, I'm talking about that when he fought Mysterio. It was
That
tech-
was
different.
lit.
That was
I don't
incredible.
care what anybody says. That was lit.
Yeah,
It was like
a good thing.
Mysterio had that dude in a freaking genjutsu the
It's
entire
exactly
time.
what it was like.
That dude was
I think it's
Itachi with
literally
Sharingan on that dude.
I was like, bro, this is so cool to watch. And at the end of it, he just gets hit by a freaking dragon. Like it's so cool. I think that was a really cool thing. But
Oh yeah.
I didn't feel like he struggled that much.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Instead of one, like I felt like it was a real situation.
Yeah,
I was,
one,
I was looking at him. I was like, bro, Spider-Man could die right here. Like,
And
I
one
felt
one had that whole personal life,
right,
like Vulture was Homegirl's dad.
right.
Mhm.
Like that was a good
That
element
was-
one.
Said, I will
I'd
kill
say
you.
Yeah.
The person who played Vulture, I forgot his name.
Michael Keaton, the original
Michael
Batman.
Keaton. That was such a good. When he found out, he was like, "Hey, baby, go inside for me. I gotta talk."
Oh
to
yeah,
you."
he
Right.
mugged him.
I was
He
The
like,
man
oh.
talk.
talked him down, man.
Said, I will kill you. Looking
Just
at
straight up.
Yeah,
That
I
one was real talk.
I don't
Big
know.
talk.
The first one just kind of bored me.
I feel you. I feel you.
I acknowledge your story. I just,
MCU peak, I think was like the middle of it.
like, I kind of agree with what Cobbin was saying earlier about how, like, Spider-Man really just hasn't had a chance to be Spider-Man yet.
Yeah, the MCU is not at all.
Because both movies feel a little bit lacking. So,
but
That's
fun.
what, I mean, that's kind of the downside of having these big like team up movies, and most of them.
Yeah,
MCU has a lot of solo movies, but I think they might have more team up in some way, like Civil War. Or
Oh yeah,
Thor Ragnarok is like Thor and the Hulk. You lose
definitely.
the character being as important. So the character's not as well developed. They're kind of just a costume, you know.
well,
Yeah.
in the case of Thor in general is garbage. IMO.
Low key.
I'm so glad that they stopped acting like he was. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. You go in the right direction. I'm saying that he's just
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah, because in the first
Yeah.
Thor movie, and mostly through the second one, they wanted him to be this super serious, like god hero character, and I don't think he was interesting enough to be that.
Yeah.
'Cause it's Thor, you know, like there's not too much you can do with Thor if he's serious. You know, he's just I am righteous, like, and I am hammer, I am thunder, wah wah.
Like,
but
people
when
hate- No, go ahead.
but when they found out like Thor worked as more of like a funny character and more like a gag character, I thought that was kind of cool. Now it worked better, like, and Ragnarok, like when there's some people that thought Ragnarok was bad because it felt more of a comedy than an action movie, but in my opinion, it was action packed, man. Like
Facts.
even though it did have a lot of funny situations, it still felt pretty serious when the final battle came, and Thor obviously wasn't ready and stuff like that. So it was just like him as a character works. Watching him as a gag character works. Watching him in Infinity War, you know, he's just this. He goes from like the serious Thor to like a fat Thor.
Bro,
That
Thor
hilarious.
brilliant. People hated that, but Fat Thor was fucking brilliant.
Thick Thor?
Because it meant they wouldn't have an easy way out when it came to squaring up with Thanos again.
That is true.
Like, they
That
nerfed
was-
him on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a that character works better as a funny character instead of a serious character.
Nigga's boring.
He is
Yeah.
boring. Like when he got up and when they were trying to talk about the plan to go get the Infinity Stones, and he was like, okay, it's a stone, it's a red stone. I had it my girlfriend, and she and everybody broke up with me, and she I lost my father, and
That dude was so dumb. What? Let me do the gauntlet. What do you think it is that's coursing through my veins right now? Cheese whiz.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop all of you right there because that fucking Thor was awful.
What?
Sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I had to wait. I let y'all talk for a long time, let you get your feelings out. Hell no, that Thor was freaking awful, dog. Thor's supposed to be cool.
So how?
Because Thor's
Okay,
supposed
so-
to be cool, man. Like, he is supposed to be.
I'm
He's supposed to be
open-minded.
that nigga. Straight up.
He
He's
was.
supposed to be that nigga.
Yeah,
What?
he
Don't
is
get it
sometimes.
misconstrued. He one-shot Thanos. Like,
He really did.
He said, fuck that.
Chuck that axe and said, "Bit, I told you,
should've
you'll
went-
die
should've
for
went
that."
But you know,
It's not our fault he can't aim.
Yeah.
Look, the
Well, he
thing
was
is,
just trying to- he was
they
trying to glow.
they didn't have to do that to dog. Like, they could have had some sort of. The heat thing is like, you know, I was real mad whenever I went in there and saw. Okay, because I think I said this already, but like my dad's favorite heroes was like Thor and Cap, right? I grew up with Thor. I was like,
Right.
okay, Thor. I mean, Thor's a really cool character. I find lightning as a superpower to be like very, very cool.
it is cool.
Which is you can tell that if you one of my favorite video games is Infamous. The Infamous
Oh
2.
my god!
It's
Hey,
his
high
powers.
five me real quick.
Lightning. Yeah, there you go, brother.
Hey, appreciate it.
Infamous 2. What does he use? Lightning. So I find lightning to be really cool. So whenever, of course, you know, what was that? Infinity War? Not Infinity War. I forgot the name of the movies. TBH. What's the last one called? Oh,
In-game.
In-game.
Yeah.
That's the second one, right?
Yeah, it's the final one.
Second Infinity War.
No, the second one is the
The second Avengers.
The one where they finally beat Thanos is Endgame.
Okay, no, then I'm talking about Infinity War. I forget the name sometimes. The Infinity War, I was like, okay, yeah, like this is prime Thor right here. I felt they could have went a different way. They kind of took the easy way out with Thor. Endgame, I think. They didn't know what else to do with the character. That's honestly what I think.
No,
See-
I have a question for you. What do you think they could have did to make him more interesting? Because if you in comics, it's quite easy to make a character interesting and pop, you know, because there's not an actual person portraying it. But in live action, if that person is given material to work with and try to portray this character to be whatever way the director wants, if it's not as interesting as it is on paper, it's not going to be that interesting in live action. I don't think I said that right, but
I get what you're saying. But
like,
what they could have done with his character is that they could have because Infinity War, they finally gave Thor at the end. I mean, it was like you said earlier while y'all were talking. Okay, we had serious Thor movies 1 and 2. Now those movies were bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the first one was second one, I don't even want to talk about it. But then Thor didn't really shine until we get to Avengers, right? And he's already kind of this like more comic relief character, which was fine. Because it's like you said, it kind of fleshed him out a bit. He was a bit one dimensional. They gave him that human side. For one, it made him human, which is automatically going to make his likability. Because he's he's the god of thunder, right? He's like had the Superman problem.
Yep,
and then
I hate him.
Then they gave him the comedy, and it's like, oh, okay. And, so that's fine. I don't care for the comedy. What I mean by that is I don't find it bad. I think it was a good thing.
I have a good
They went
retort.
that way. But Infinity War, like right at the end, where we finally get a glimpse of that, or again, it was like, hell no, nigga, you need to fucking die. Like none of this comic relief bullshit. And so I wanted to see that again in Endgame, and I really didn't feel like we got. We got freaking fat Thor. We literally got thick Thor.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
He should have practiced more on mouse and keyboard, dog.
I hate you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was.
He would have hit that headshot real quick.
He would have, downloaded the main bots.
Facts.
when we first saw Thor and he was freaking playing Fortnite with old dude and was talking bad to that kid. Okay, I thought that shit was hilarious, low-key, I ain't gonna lie. That shit was fucking funny. However, what I was waiting for the entire movie, I never got. I was waiting for Thor to whenever, because he knew they were going to be going up against Thanos again, right?
Right.
Why wasn't this nigga training for that shit? Why was he still fat? Like,
Okay.
that's what made me mad. That he never got his redemption.
Okay. Let me run this back a little. Thor, on the first movie, was a pompous asshole who was cocky, knew that he was cocky, proud that he was cocky because he was the god of thunder, son of Odin. And he was punished for it because he thought that, you know, he was great and nobody can stop him, nobody can beat him. Got freaking Mjolnir taken. He knew he was a dick, right? But that's essentially Thor, because he knows he's almighty. Says, you know, yeah, I am Thor, god of thunder, son of Odin. You know, he's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
But what they do, and I think this is why the character went in the direction it did, is because knowing that he is like that, he loses way more than anyone else in the movies and MCU.
Yeah.
He loses his home, his friends, his best friends. He loses Heimdall, gone. Like his
brother,
he loses
gone.
Every brother, gone. Father, deuces. Mom, L. Like everything. So like once you, and we see this, literally see it. He even, his girlfriend even breaks up with him. Like we don't see that, but
he told us though.
He told us. He definitely told us in vivid detail. But we see him mentally trying to cope with the fact that he is losing everything. And this mentality of, I am mighty, I am the great, we finally see come to an end game. Like, the fact that he has tried to keep this mindset up of, and that's what I think they did so well with the character, and why they pushed him to thick Thor, is because we see him try to be the person of greatness and almost like a righteous Superman, like you said. Like he's supposed to be, he wanted to be that star-spangled awesome god of thunder who's supposed to rule Asgard one day. But since we see that type of mindset and mentality that he has isn't working, as he literally watches people die in front of him, his friends and family die in front of him, we see that it's just like we see him literally deteriorate. He's done. He doesn't even want to fight Thanos again. In his head, in Endgame, he was like, I beat that guy. I don't want to fight him again. Did anybody else see me beat that guy? I did. I was right there.
So yeah, I cut his head off.
For the head. I went for the head.
And it also,
that was more sarcastic. And
no, he was about to cry.
Well, not sorry. Sarcastic was the wrong word. What it was like because he did him saying that he did it. He knew it didn't mean anything though. Like,
right.
He didn't say it from a place of I did that. He said it from a place of like I did that. It didn't mean shit. He was, so yeah, he was like I'm not mad at thick Thor. Like,
right.
I mean, you're right, man. He was broken. Like that's
the reason.
So I'm not mad at thick Thor. What I'm mad is that thick Thor never got redemption. That's what I'm like. He went to thick Thor, and that was pretty much
that was his arc.
That was it.
I see what you're saying.
Same, but I also feel like of course, like I said earlier, the reason they did that was so when they squared up the Thanos again, that they didn't just auto win the fight. Because when he was in his prime, he chucked the axe through and just erased all the powers of the gauntlets.
Right?
Yeah.
So like him being that form versus Thanos with no gauntlet, that's free.
Yeah.
Like there's no fight to be had.
Also, he didn't have time to muscle up again.
Yeah, it was.
They didn't even get the ball moving. They already had a short amount of time.
It was back to back, quick.
Yeah, they needed
See
to
what
get
y'all
it
are
all.
saying? I understand.
And I understand that. Also, I hate
Still don't
Thor,
like it.
so
But like I get it. You wanted to see him have that like redemption, return to glory type deal. But his
Same.
return to glory is the fact that he fought anyway.
Big facts.
He's because honestly, if they wouldn't have went to him, he wouldn't have went to the fight. If he didn't care. So his redemption was the fact that he had to literally
Suited
conjure
up
up
anyway.
whatever,
Suited up
right?
anyway and said,
And
"Let's kill him
his
properly
fat
this time."
version, let's kill him properly. Like that was a fire moment when he called freaking Thor and called freaking Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. That was fire. That was so cool.
Wait, who?
also fuck Thor.
Okay, all right. Well, whatever
All right.
whatever your superhero is too, fuck them. Shit. Right,
See, here's let me tell you why I don't like Thor. Same reason why I also don't like Wonder Woman, really, because they're gods and they lose
yeah, they lose
to
if they
niggas
have
that
to. 'Cause if
aren't
they always won. It would be boring.
gods.
How boring would a story would that be if they just kept winning all the time?
But
Yeah, they
they're
have to
gods. Is my
That's
whole
not-
point. Like, you shouldn't be losing to niggas that aren't gods or on the same level.
Just
Like-
because they're gods doesn't. First of all, they're gods there. They're gods in their own place. To them,
Right.
they're gods. If we didn't hear about them, we wouldn't know that they're gods.
Like,
but they're
Thor,
gods to them.
no, but Thor is straight up pulled from Norse mythology.
I
Like
hear you.
I've said this before. Like, Thor is straight up pulled from Norse mythology, the god of thunder, from Valhalla, a place where these guys are born and raised on fighting.
Right.
And he got worked by Thanos in a 1v1.
In his own right, is also as powerful as a god.
But
if
he's
more
not a
powerful.
god.
Oh no, he's definitely not. He's a titan.
And that's my
Titans
whole
fight
point.
gods.
If you're gonna pull a god from like mythology, like, first of all, I don't agree with pulling a god from mythology, because to me that's unoriginal as fuck and it's lame.
I can see that. Yeah.
And then when you go and lose, especially when you're from like pantheons of gods who are trained to fight, then that's
Right.
just annoying and stupid to me. Like, I just don't like it. Like, to me,
Yeah.
it just shouldn't happen.
So if they won the fights, would you like them as a character?
No, I don't like them as a character, period, because they
Oh,
exist
okay.
as
Well,
a
he doesn't
hero.
Like, he doesn't like the character.
Okay.
I don't like their
Okay.
concepts.
Got it.
See,
Okay. I mean, if he doesn't like the fact that they pulled gods from history, it's I because it's unoriginal and it's not creative at all. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Just don't
Ain't
fucks
mad
with
at
it.
I know you're mad at it.
That's why I enjoyed Fat Thor so much in the movie. I was like, this nigga look trash. I'm like, good. But that's just me. That's just me. I understand other ninjas like Thor, like Wonder Woman and stuff. That's fine. I don't care. But that's just how I feel. I don't like it. But if you like it, that's you. It's like with the Star Wars movies. If you like the sequel, that's fine.
That's a whole other.
I hate them.
conversation.
It really
Hold on.
is.
hold on,
That's-
say that, Doug. Say that.
That's a whole other
I know.
conversation.
That's two episodes later.
Say that, dog. You coming?
Shout out.
Oh, yeah.
Look for
How long have we been going, by the way?
We are coming up on 2 hours soon. So we have time for one more subject.
What we got?
One
Now,
more subject.
I've got something.
Go for
I was gonna have some too, but you go ahead.
Oh
first.
no, go ahead. I feel like I've been talking a lot. You was chilling, listening to us talk about Thor.
it. Yeah,
So
Tank,
you
shut
go
up. You
ahead.
talk to me.
I was still listening to talk about Thor because the reason why I was
Sleep.
sitting there letting y'all talk about Thor was because I knew I was about to come in and kill the whole conversation anyway. I was thinking, all right, let them go ahead and get their side. Let me listen. I was like, let me cut them niggas off.
AJ was looking there with his back to. He said, "Oh, are they done? They done? All right. That shit was fucking ass."
Yeah, I was gonna be like,
He did.
I should have came and be like, is you finished or is you done? I wanted to talk more about DC, specifically animated, because this is what I grew up with. DC animated versus
Same.
Marvel animated.
DC animated all day.
DC animated.
Well,
You can't because they're the ones. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, keep going. I'll come back.
Because they're the ones that took the risk with adult type of animations and stories to tell. A lot of Marvel stuff is real childish. You know, the majority of their popular animated Marvel stuff has been Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody jog my memory and let
X-Men.
me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah. There's been some good X-Men.
There's been some good X-Men. Oh, I did forget about
It's
X-Men.
X-Men or Spider-Man, but outside of that,
Nothing.
And only recently, and not only recently, but more recently, X-Men is kind of.
If you ask somebody what the best American cartoon is, they're probably gonna say Avatar. But
Apple Girls?
they might
Shut up.
say,
oh my
if they don't say Avatar, they'll probably say Batman the Mid-Series.
Batman animated series
Batman
is
the
amazing.
Mid-Series, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Actually,
Yeah,
It is a
which
great
one is the
TV show.
Batman animated?
The
series?
first
That's
one,
the first
the
one.
first
Which
one,
Batman?
90s
That's
Batman.
the first one, man.
That's the goat.
That's
Dark
the first time
Cow,
I
right?
that.
The light blue.
No, it was still black. It was still black.
Black and gray, yeah.
That's what I said. The dark cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the light blue.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that
Wonder
was
Robbins died.
That was fire.
Yeah.
Nah, I've watched Batman animated series, The Batman, Batman
Justice
Beyond.
League.
First off,
Justice League Unlimited.
Batman,
Oh
the
my
Brave
God.
and the Bold.
I watched a few episodes.
Brave and the Bull. That's the blue one, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I said, one of the Robins died in that series, and I was shook ever since.
Oh, and
Yeah, dude.
animated series.
And it wasn't like he just died. That dude, that was
he
the
got
second
bodied.
one, right?
That was
He got
Jason.
brutally murdered. Brutally.
Yeah.
Like, we putting this on kids show?
He got his ass beat with a fucking crowbar.
Nobody's mentioned the GOAT yet. Teen Titans, bro.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, I thought we were talking about Batman.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I thought Batman animated series was the goat.
It is, but Teen Titans is what we grew up on.
Teen Titans is amazing. I don't think anybody will debate that.
Batman
very
was the first. I mean, I watched a lot of cartoons growing up, but Batman was the first one that was really like, man, I gotta get these
enjoyed
action figures. I gotta get these.
I did that for The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed
The
the
Batman
art
pretty
of that one.
Yeah. Y'all watch Beware
Hey,
the Batman?
It's just it goes back to what we
I
were saying
don't think
earlier.
so.
The Batverse is too
Exactly.
good.
It's just too good, man.
It's too good.
Too dang good.
It's interesting. I said DC animated, and we all went Batman versus
Yeah.
Marvel.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Exactly what I
Just
said
how
at the
easy it
beginning.
is.
That's what I said.
What did I say?
Mhm.
Like, who
I said,
actually
you
gives a fuck about Superman?
I said
If
it's Marvel.
you take some
Batman.
scissors
DC.
and cut everything out besides the Batman universe, I'd be cool with calling that DC.
Batman carries DC on his back.
Big
With no
Omega
power.
facts.
I kind of liked
no
Justice League
superpower.
and Justice League Unlimited. Like,
No,
I
Justice-
really
No, those are
enjoyed
good cartoons.
it. Not just specifically for Batman. Now it also helps. The Batman in there was fucking cold as shit.
He was.
The nigga was that dude. He was like, I think in one of the episodes. Oh no, it wasn't. Was it the first episode of Unlimited? It was one episode where all the supers went bad.
Yeah.
They all got like mind control or whatever, and then like freaking Batman comes up. Like, I think it was either
It was unlimited.
it was either like months
I know
later or
what
like
you're
a
talking
year or
about.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back and whoops all the asses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
Everybody.
one. That's the one with Shazam in it, right? And they all
Yeah.
got taken over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like he's like, if you don't think the danger of a rogue Justice League is a problem,
No,
I
that's a
don't need
different
to
one.
vote for a vote.
That's
What's
different. That's different.
There's the movie where they like find out that he has the.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
Justice
that-
League
phone
Doom.
notes about all of them. Yeah,
That
yeah.
is Doom.
No,
You're
there
right.
was one where
But he's talking about in like the Unlimited.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're
Oh.
talking about. They got mind controlled, but Batman specifically did something to negate
Yeah.
that before it happened,
Mm-hmm.
and then he
Oh,
got
yeah.
out.
And they told everybody.
I know what you're talking about.
I must have confused two different movies.
I know what you're talking about.
No,
That was a
House of
thing.
Justice
That was a
was good.
thing. I just can't remember exact details. I know for sure he stopped it so he wouldn't get controlled though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doom. There's another level of Batman that just shows his potential. You know what I'm saying? He's cold.
Yeah, the DC animated movies are good.
That
Yeah,
dude just said the Justice League is being attacked by who? By me.
What?
He straight up what he said.
Yeah.
He talked back
That
to
was
him.
clean.
He said, "Who made these plans? I made them."
And the one where I think this is legitimately from Justice. Correct me if I'm wrong. When Lex Luthor tried to seem like he turned over a new leaf, and Shazam was there, like protecting him, but
Yeah.
Superman thought he actually was. It was all a joke. Like he actually was like trying to blow up or cause some type of mayhem or something. And Shazam and Superman actually fought.
Shit,
Yeah.
when isn't that not a thing?
Oh man.
Superman and Shazam clash all the
Yeah,
time.
they fight a
though.
lot.
Oh man!
man.
And then at the end, there was like when they found out Lex Luthor was actually being nice, he was like, "I used to idolize you. I used to want to be you." like he gave Superman a stern talking to, and he left the Justice League.
Yeah, Lex Luthor has never been done right.
Hold up. Now I gotta drop back. Now I gotta drop back to Doom. Hold up. Does anybody disagree with what Bats did?
No,
What? No.
The fact that he
I-
made
I-
contingency plans from
never do.
Absolutely not.
I get both.
because-
I see both sides. I get why they'd be pissed about it.
because
But,
you know
yeah.
what? Something similar got said like that in Justice League Unlimited. Because what was it? Green Arrow said something along the same lines. He said, because what was it? It was Superman and somebody else that was pissed that Cadmus was doing a whole bunch of shit behind their back to try to defend themselves against the heroes. And Green Arrow was like, honestly, as one of the only non-superpowered dudes around y'all, I'm scared as fuck of what y'all niggas can do. Like
Right.
with Superman doing the crap he does, I'm not mad at them for having contingencies against y'all. Because if y'all go rogue, who's gonna stop you?
Yeah.
Like nobody can do anything against you. You're fucking Superman. Who the hell is going to square up to you? Not one damn
Right.
person on this planet. So why should we not have contingency plans?
Big facts.
Like Batman straight up told them, y'all really dumb as hell that y'all don't
Yeah.
agree with
They
this.
should have them. Yeah.
Like the only thing I probably don't agree with about what he did was that he just didn't tell them. But obviously, if he told them, they wouldn't have agreed to him
Yeah, they'd have been
continually
mad
doing
anyway,
it. So
Yep.
I think that was more of just Batman
What's your
being
weakness?
Batman being like, look, I'm gonna do this shit whether y'all care or not, and I ain't gonna
Yeah.
tell y'all because I really don't feel like talking about it.
that nigga would hit you with the
It's
quick.
none of y'all's business.
The fact that he went through they gave a whole process with it. He said, "I got them no contingency plan, code name Martian."
Oh yeah. Told everybody.
Now, it's interesting because if you look at it as if somebody else had found their weakness, like Batman did, he was the only one who. So he knows their weakness and he knows how to get rid of it. So if somebody else decided to exploit their weaknesses the same way the dude did,
Vandal
and
Savage.
then Batman would be the only person that would be able to stop him because he would, so.
I mean, but Batman's always been like that. He's always been the one that holds cards. Like he
Right.
has to be, right? So I think that was more of just Batman's personality coming into play.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
you don't trust nobody.
Big facts.
Don't trust nobody, and it's just generally a good idea.
In that world,
Facts. If
I
I
don't
had
know
a,
what's going on.
that's why when we got into that. I think it was on one of the topics, but or maybe it was off the book. But we said something about superpowers, and I was like, I don't want no damn superpowers, because that means there's gonna be somebody strong enough to square up to me,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be hell on earth. I'd rather us be the way we are. We got enough problems.
Well,
Like some of
I'd
these
have, to
cities
just,
are.
I'd have to just kill him.
Shot down.
If there's gonna be a person that's just gonna be just like me, fine. That's a person. I'll kill that person. And I'm a chillin'.
That's where we gonna have an issue, because then you gonna be like the ninjas in Marvel with the goddamn accords. You gonna have to follow their
that's fine.
rules, and they gonna tell you not to kill that dude.
They don't have a say so.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
you that ninja, you that ninja Batman playing for.
You know, they don't have a say
Hey,
so.
square up, Bat Turtle.
Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get flung by Magneto shit.
I am Bat Turtle.
You gonna learn today. Oh man. Oh, we run it in 2 hours 10 minutes. That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Again, if you guys actually made it to the end of this talk, this is a pretty good one. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal, man. Hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Punch it.
Yes, Unibeam that like button. Jimmy Chonga that like button. Web shoot that white button.
Hit it with that proton cannon.
Facts. Hit it, everything. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then fire on Meneses.
Cool.
Okay. Alright. So,
In the video.
alright. So on the next episode, we are going to bring Red Comet back.
Hey.
We're gonna bring him back. We're also gonna bring in another guest who's gonna bring some extremely polarizing opinions to the table. We'll be talking about a real good subject. It's most likely going to be, shut up. It's most likely going to be longer, but again, I will work on putting the timestamps so that you can kind of just sift through, listen to a section, go do something else, go to work, whatever, come back, listen to another section. You know, I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? But the next subject's gonna be anime. Yeah, episode 4 is hitting hard with that anime. We're gonna be talking that talk for real. All right. So before we head on out, anybody else got some comments?
Hey, I want anybody. I want you to listen real good, man.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Stay safe out here on these streets, man. Fuck bitches make riches. Okay? Fuck bitches make riches. Talk about.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
All right.
You heard him. Fuck bitches, rate
Oh, and
riches.
always wear your seatbelt.
Shut up. If you wear your seatbelt, you could become Hokage.
Okay.
Or on that next episode of Dragon.
In the words of the young bird, live
Help them!